Okay, so that's the two buttons you have. Again, you'll develop your own school's protocol on that one. Obviously, is going to engage. The assistance needed will notify the other teachers around you. So maybe they could come and help. We had that situation. I'll get to you in 1 second. We had that situation where a girl was feeling faint after. We didn't want to go to secure mode. The teacher didn't, but they did need some assistance from other adults in the office, so they used that. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so what if we go into lockdown?
What if?
Everything turns red, right?
Yep,
And it says lockdown on our tablet?
that's right.
Okay, so, but everybody in the whole school, their tablet will say that?
Yes.
Regardless of where in the building you're at?
That's right.
Okay.
That's the beauty of the system. So now take the number of boots you have, double it now with your tablets. I mean, it's pretty loud. It's pretty loud to notify everybody very quickly. Inside the box for your tablet, you have a power cord underneath there. You don't have to dig it out and look at it right now. Trust me, it's in there. My recommendation is keep it plugged in during the week, but I'd power it off personally on the weekend. It saves the battery. And that's usually when these go bad, that's the issue. Right. So go ahead and hold the button in. You'll get the option to power it off, power it off. And you can also hook these to the internet. It helps with the signal. Much like your phone, picture this as a phone. If you scrape, drag down the middle, it'll pop up like on your phone if you go to Starbucks and get on their internet. The first button is an internet button. Hold it down, it'll show the wireless that are available and you can hook it up. And then at the top, on your home screen, you'll have a blue circle at the top. That means you're hooked to the internet. We can go over these again when I'm back, yes?
So after we hit like secure mode or somebody else hits it in the building,
Yep.
will we get a notification that says like that it's over? Because if we're just like secure in our room and I wanna still keep teaching, will I get then the all clear? Or do I have to just keep?
I was gonna have the rest of everybody that was in training this morning, you will receive, the administration will clear it from their iPad and it'll go all clear. And the lights will turn green. Then they're gonna be patient. It's gonna say all clear for a while. Because remember, this thing is a smart system with a capital S. It starts learning just like your phone to your Bluetooth speaker. After you've done it a while, when you go into Apple Music or hit your Bluetooth, it beeps that one in and you don't have to connect it. Same thing. This thing starts learning where everything's at and it needs to exercise and learn, through the drills and stuff. And I'm saying this loud enough for administration too. When you hit on secure mode, we go to all, when you clear the alert, we're gonna wait, it's gonna go to all clear, green. All right? I don't know.
It won't. I'd like to click on menu and it won't.
Okay. I can do it, I think we can do it remotely too. We'll get you back to ground zero.
Oh wait, it made me wait. Why did it?
Because it wants you to be patient. It wants the system, because, a whole minute, yeah, a whole minute. Because, remember, you have lights out on the portable, and it takes a second for it to get all the way out there. It has to complete the whole daisy link around. Yeah, so when you clear the system, or clear the alert first, honestly don't know. I'm anxious to see. Overload and it'll be all clear for a while, not 10 minutes, but a couple of minutes.
There it goes. It's green.
See how reliable the system is? I mean that, it's unbelievable. It's almost like I said this. I appreciate whoever did it. And you don't have to do anything. Now this is when your administration cleared the alert. Now she's gonna wait. Let it go. She keep waiting. Let it go. And then she will system clear and they will turn off. Yeah, went
It
back.
was just, yeah, they were like, we just went there.
I want to remind you, because I got this question emailed to me today from a school down in Ohio. When the boot is pulled out of the boot box and put into the door slot here, this will continue to say lockdown for about 45 seconds, then it goes silent. And that's intentional, because the ones that are still saying lockdown potentially are in the bathroom in those overflow areas. So if people are in the hallway, as I said in the training, they start listening. If they can hear a boot still saying lockdown, that's a spot they can go to boot up. That's intentional. Does that make sense to you? Yeah. And that goes for you guys too, because often if you're on your prep hour and you're out in the hallway, go to a boot spot. You know, you wouldn't go all the way back to your room if it was down and around the corner. Go ahead. Do the same thing you just did. Menu system clear, you see that? Put in the number. Gotta let it work.
Well, you would see it through the window.
Is it spinning?
Yeah.
Good. There you go. That one went out, but that one hasn't yet. But it will, hopefully.
They could.
You're good. If they don't go out, I'll show you a trick. There, it's gone. Yeah, y'all gotta feel pretty good about it.
If you're looking in and they're in the hallway, then
And although this is another thing I encounter quite often, that people are scared to death of these tablets. I don't want to set the system off. Relax. You have to hit it, then confirm and hold it, and all of that. It's good. You're good. Don't be afraid of it. It's a tool to help. And again, the worst thing that you could do from the teacher tablet is put it in secure mode, and it'll be okay. It'll be okay. Yes.
Maybe we learned this, but I forgot.
Then I'm here.
When it's in secure mode, and we know that one of our students is in the restroom, am I supposed to go get them, or do the kids know to come?
They would
I don't remember.
Yeah. And again, in secure mode, you would set those protocols. Me personally, I think I'd tell my staff at my school, if you're in the bathroom, go to the nearest classroom.
So those are things that Ms. Lober's gonna put in
Yeah,
place.
yeah.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because then you're okay to open the door in secure mode. But also understand, secure mode, if it's going secure mode, you can pull your boot and the lockdown would override the secure mode. Because sometimes there are situations that we could probably think of where, oh, you know what, this is secure mode. Oh, Lord, this is terrible. We need to go to lockdown. It would override it, turn them red. Then the rules, the protocol change. If they're in a bathroom, boot up. You don't open that door. And I know that's a tough part. And even in the training today, once that boot's in, the only thing that tells you to pull it out is all clear and green light. Okay? Because also in that protocol, if a kid's in the hallway and they're right next to an exit and it goes to lockdown, I would tell our kids to go. Get out of the building and run. Run.
But all those gates are locked, so like we were at recess right before we came in, all of those gates are locked, where would we run to, how are we getting out of the?
That's a conversation with you and the team here. We had a lot of woods. Around our. We told them, go to the woods, we'll find you. We'll find you. Okay. Yesterday I got a call from a district that's pretty close to my house down south of here, who's a client, and they had a kindergartner pull the boot in the bathroom at lunchtime and then skedaddled out of there. Okay, but nobody knew, the admin knew that it was the boys' restroom by the cafeteria, but their cafeteria restrooms are outside in the hall. Nobody knew exactly what happened, so they went to lockdown. Everybody booted up. and the police were there within 8 to 9 minutes. All right? And the police had a little trouble getting in the door, but they cleared that school. They were in lockdown for about 45 minutes. And the police, I'm gonna tell you, when she called me, the superintendent called me, and I'm friends with her, and she said, all right, I'm gonna tell you the positive part first. The police that came in, one had an AK, one had the gun drawn, because nobody knew. And they were in lockdown. He said, what's the deal? It was totally silent, and there was not one person in that hallway. The lights were red, everyone was booted up, and they could not find a person. And he said, what's the system? Didn't know about the boot system. And he said, we gotta have everybody under this boot system. This is awesome. I got nothing here. And they cleared the rooms. But I will tell you, they had a little issue getting in the door, and we're having conversation, which is another step in the process. We're setting up access for their police on the outside because they were this close to shooting the door out to get in. And that's the reality of it. And they're trained to shoot the door out or drive their car through it.
Yep.
That's their protocol. So it's pretty real. The other thing, actually, since Griff and I have been here, part of my deal is I go to these conferences like you go, and I already might have mentioned it the last time, but I've been to a bunch. I've been to school conferences, and I've been to a lot of police conferences. They send us there. There's an assailants reaction conference, which I never knew existed, with a lot of police force there. And I tell you, God's honest truth, I can't find in 11 months, seeing all these vendors, there's not a better system out there that does the two things. You've got a safe zone in your classroom, and you've got instant notification, and everyone's empowered to lock your school down. The next step in this process will also, we put a tablet at dispatch. So if a boot is pulled in 32, it will notify that tablet in dispatch. Listen, people are gonna be calling 911, but they'll know when those law enforcement are coming, they will be able to give the information that they have on their tablet. Listen, it's in blue 32 at Creative Montessori. You gotta find a blue entrance close to 32, they hit a button and the map pulls up.
So then would that eliminate the need for us to dial 911?
Here's my recommendation on 911 call. It goes back to the room maps you have. I told you this before, but I wanna reiterate the fact. At the top of your maps that are above that you're looking at right now, that's the information that you call in. That tells them, according to the critical incident mapping you have, it tells them exactly where you're at, okay? Now, if you're the one that pulls the boot, I hope you're on 911 telling them why,
Okay, that's,
okay? Now, if you're down the hall, lockdown, all right, get to the safe zone, go. You don't need to call 911 because you don't have any real-time information. Now, you're in your safe zone, and outside your window, you see someone with a big gun, call 911 and tell them that. Hey, read off the top. I'm at Creative Montessori in room 309, color zone purple, zone 2. I just saw blankety, blankety, blank. That's when you could call 911. Because I'm telling you, they're gonna get flooded. Plus, at a place like this where you're located, Southgate's got the system. Man, there's a ton. Melvindale, Allen Park, Taylor, all those schools have the system, and all of those places have police force. I have Toledo, I'm doing some work with Toledo. They had a real incident. They had 7 law enforcement agencies that showed up, including alcohol and tobacco. I'm serious. Because that's a federal organization. They showed up. They had people from everywhere, and you're gonna get the same here. You're gonna get people from everywhere coming to respond. And that's a great thing. You are buying time for them to get here, and this system supports that. Any questions on the system, the training? Like I said, you're in a great spot. You can practice, the system's not on. Don't practice on your tablets anymore. All right, in fact, go ahead and you can turn them off or whatever and wait for that. We've already scheduled drills. System will be live and you'll be ready to go. And you know, some people, you've got this new addition on here. Administration in your school has already moved to add the stuff there. Lights and boots are in there, but like you've seen the shields on the outside. I think they look great, by the way. But those shields are there so people can't break the glass, hit the door bar, and let themselves in. That's why the shields are there.
One of my students asked me if they're bulletproof.
They're not bulletproof. They are not bulletproof. That's a good question. But I will tell you, like, you could shoot the one in your front door, you could shoot that 100 times and you're not gonna get your hand through there. It's like razor blades. That's why, yeah, even tell them to keep their fingers out of the holes. That stuff's sharp. That's the intention. We call them blast shields.
Can I just have a quick question, because we have very similar rooms. My bathroom door is staying open, or should I close?
No, I'll close it. That's the symbol.
Because it's showing, I'm just asking because hers shows like the whole orange soap, and mine shows like I would keep it open and not place it.
Or you can take your crayons. No, I'm not being funny, and then circle it and we'll fix it.
Okay, yeah, because I was gonna say, I'd rather have a question.
Yeah.
Especially if we're going on.
We have about 10 people that develop these maps, and they spend a lot of time doing that, and they look at
Everybody's
them.
turning in a map, or just the ones
No,
that need?
just the ones that need to be adjusted.
Okay, so before you leave today, if you could look in your room and make sure, and put them in my mailbox before you leave today, then I'll know. If it's not in there before you leave today, then come Monday, I'll know, you're all set.
Yeah.
Our state show, we can probably fit about 3 students.
I know, you do the best you can. You do the best you can. On the floor, I'd stack them high and deep. Listen, how many 8th graders are you gonna get in some of the safe zones? That's just giving you, that's the best spot to be in your room and get as close to it as you can. I can't hear you good.
And years ago, we used to do lockdown shelter in place, and then we had a training, and it said, do not stay in place to run if you can. So how does this go with that?
Okay, you know what? And then someone mentioned Alex too. So stay in place. It's because, I'll be honest with you, and especially in some of the buildings that I came from, where I work, and if I get myself worked up a little bit, one good kick, I can get in just about any door at my old school. I can get after it. Now you have the boot. And the Michigan State Police, specifically, and at the top of the list, if you can shelter in place, shelter in place. And as far as the Alice training goes, are you all Alice trained?
Yes.
Don't throw it out the window. What we call in school safety, you've got layers now. And Alice, at my school, we were so good during our drills, we'd put little kindergartners out the windows.
Yep.
Okay? So A, L, and I, alert, lockdown, inform. Guess what the boot system does? Alerts, you're now under lockdown, and you've informed. At my school, before we had the boot, E, evacuate, was at the top. Instead of piling file cabinets and chairs, they're like, listen, if it's down over by the gym, we're hightailing. It changed the mindset completely of our staff and our students. They knew we're buying time, we're putting the boot in, we're shutting our mouth and getting our safe zone. Let's buy people time. Plus we had 2 SROs, they're coming. They're coming and they're gonna be there fast. So that's how I would tell you, continue your idea, and then, C, you've now put it in the right order. Alert, lockdown, inform. C is counter, and you say, well, with this, we probably won't have to counter. If you're out in the hallway and somebody gets trapped and cornered and they're in a bad situation, you gotta remind them of counter. You're gonna do whatever you can to stay safe. or if someone stuck their hand in a window, I'm going after their hand. You know, that's counter. So again, it fits hand in hand with Alice, and that was our message to our staff when we got the boot system. Spent a lot of time on this.
I have a question.
Let
I'm
her
sorry,
rip.
I don't think you can answer it necessarily, I
Oh,
just
man.
wanna pick your brain.
Sure.
So, when all the boots went in, my fear was, like, when I first saw it, is I thought, so there's one in the stairwell, so if you get stuck in there, you can put it in, and one here. So then I thought, if both of those are locked down, and let's say a kid does go in the courtyard, like through the window, and we go to run for safety, we're now like we're trapped in the hallway. And so is there a thought process behind it? Like, we don't really lock the stairs down unless you're stuck in the stairs. It's not like you run through the building, like locking yourself every way, or like, what's the thought process behind it?
I don't know your building well enough to answer that perfectly, probably. But again, when it boils down to it, the bottom line is, individually, or if you've got someone with you, and you go in, you're not in a classroom, find a boot, boot it up, safe zone, and it's tough. But everybody else out there, they're on their own. They have to do the same. These are tough, this is the tough part of the conversation.
So we're sitting ducks, if it gets booted and both ends of the hall.
There is no system that's gonna be 100%, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's nothing in a situation, we could physically sit here till the cows come home and figure out situations where it's not optimal. But we are saving as many people as we can, and we're buying as much time as we can. That's the idea behind the system.
Can you pull a boot out?
Like so what I was thinking is like if she's trapped in the hallway, if she pulls it out, it's not gonna clear the system, it's just gonna give them a way out.
No, but if the bad person has that person by the collar and telling them to pull the boot out, you could potentially expose a lot more people to danger.
But in this case, I couldn't. It would
Because
be like,
it's on the reverse side of where you're
it's on the reverse side.
Yeah.
So I'm just thinking, like, if you're a do-gooder and you're like, ooh, I'll lock up every system as I'm running through the building.
No.
Then you're
No.
like trapping people.
Yeah,
So so everyone hear that? Like, I want the conversation.
yeah, you're on, it sounds selfish, but you're on your own. Listen, I don't know how much time I have to buy, I'm getting in and I'm booting up. That's the mentality of it. Now, you as adults with your classroom, obviously, we're booting this class, nobody's going out, and I'm not opening that door till I hear all clear.
I just feel like if I'm a middle school kid and I know the system now, I'm like, oh, this is right out here. Just saying, you know, we're trapped in the hallway because
I don't know.
weirdo stairs, to me, he's a good idea. And I can't get out now because there's metal on all the other windows.
And it's intentional. I don't know how much Creative Montessori has shared with their public about having the system. Just the families and I.
Let's listen, guys.
We were very intentional when we shared information about the system. It was vague. It was the fact that we have this sweet system for school safety to help in certain situations, no details. And that's why school boards now, when they talk about these, they're allowed to go to closed session. And it's difficult. There's only 7 things that can put you in closed session as a school board. This is one of them. Your safety plan and security equipment for that intentional reason. And you know what? There maybe are some kids, and I mean, the stuff I've heard in the last 10, 11 months about some of these people that make bad choices, you can't, it's tough to stay ahead of them. It's tough to stay ahead of them. I will tell you, when you're talking about, last time I was here, people, look at all these windows. Yeah, every school in America has these windows like this, but I will tell you, knock on wood, the statistics show that people don't like shoot in through windows from the outside. They want to get in. They want to get in. And And that's how the person in Nashville shot the door out, let herself in. And that's why, I mean, that's part of the reason we have the shields. Yeah,
If we want a shield, should we remember that?
if you want a shield on your door,
Your
Yeah.
space hasn't, they were measuring you the night before.
you know what, and I had the installation guy here too today, and we saw some spots. Listen, we're gonna tell them we need one there on that side light. We'll keep adding here till it, you know, for appropriate. Yep,
I just don't understand the shield things.
yeah.
Because when I came in, I just thought, I didn't understand why they only went up so high when someone just, you know, shoot the window and hop in.
Take some time.
Now, the shields,
I mean, if there was more than one person, I mean, where they're located, I just don't understand it, and I need to have a little understanding, because they don't look safe to me.
okay, well, for the exterior shields that are on your front door, for example,
Yeah.
they are high enough and low enough where you can't break the glass and hit the door jamb.
Okay.
It's physically impossible unless you had a ladder, I guess, and then you'd hang through, you know what I mean? You can't do that.
Okay.
That the interior shields are not covering your whole window, they're protecting the boot.
Oh, is that what, okay.
So you'll see they're down low, so someone can't break the glass, reach around and pull your boot out.
So I wanted to understand that.
That's the interior one. And I will tell you, the boot, the way, you can't tell from a long distance, but this pin is a little bit longer than this pin. When this is in, you can't pull it out from the side. You have to be directly over it and pull up. And that's intentional too in the design. You have to be directly on top of it. At my school, we had real old doors that had windows down to about here. We had to shield those up just high enough so someone couldn't break the glass, reach down and pull it straight up. So interior protects the boot, exterior protects the door jamb. Does that help?
Yeah, I was just thinking if there was two people, someone could just shoot.
Yeah, and you know,
But I mean, I know.
Honestly,
But I mean, that's what just, and I was just thinking the whole new section was built. I mean, it's just solid glass to Northline, and it just made me wonder, is there gonna be some kind of something against those windows that's out there to Northline?
no, because I will tell you at Uvalde, or I don't usually say that, it was Oklahoma.
I'm just curious.
They had their doors, or they had their windows covered. That situation would have been taken care of like that. If the police from outside could have seen in, that person in there would have been taken care of within very few minutes. But they had everything covered up. They had snipers there ready, but couldn't see where the issue was. So again, our recommendation is, you know, people buy that film and everything, and with the classrooms, law enforcement want to be able, when they're clearing, to look in there.
Okay, I thank you for clearing that
Yeah.
up. I understand better now.
And most of, I believe, or if not all of our windows have the shatter preventive film on it. So it's a layer, you know.
Remember, you're buying,
You're buying
especially
time.
here.
Right, buying time.
In the school I made reference to that I visited this morning, who had the incident with the kindergartner yesterday, they're rural. And they had county sheriff there whose department is about 35 minutes away is their station. They didn't all come from there because they were out in their car, but they had 2 police there in 8 minutes. They timed it, 8 minutes, they had 2 cars there. And they had a long way to go. You guys here, buy yourself 5 minutes, you got it. There are gonna be people here helping you.
Well, there was an electrician accidentally triggered the fire alarm in the summer.
I heard,
The fire trucks were here within minutes.
yeah,
You know, the kids were outside, they were here before we,
all those police officers and firemen and women, they all have kids at schools, and they've seen so much that they go to bed at night and they think about this stuff. Yep. Anything else?
Any other questions?
I'm sorry, I can't hear, so I just didn't, I didn't understand.
Yeah,
I just wondered
Do your
about that.
Bluetooth speech.
It's blue.
Yeah.
Well, you know me, I'm.
Okay, if you don't have Wi-Fi,
That was me.
that you may encounter, if it's totally dead, you may encounter some issue of the specific area where the boot was pulled. There could be issues there. But these boxes and pull stations are all Bluetooth. You could have no power, you still got the boot system.
Okay, good, that's good.
No power, no internet, you've got the boot system. If you had zero power, you'd have an issue with the lights. But we also offer backup, battery backup to the lights too. And if you have any generator, it'll work in a brownout. Some schools have backup generators, still go. And you know, I got this little car, this company car. It's not a great ride. And I travel all around, and this system's in these tubs and gets beat up and bounced and everything, and every time I pull it out, it works. It's a pretty durable system. Good? Thanks, you guys. Great group here.